All right, we're going to tackle a huge economic question today, but we're going to do it with a really simple story. It's all about monkeys, leaves, and a whole lot of bananas. Let's jump right into the banana economy.
So you've probably heard this question before, right? Maybe you've even thought of it yourself. If people are struggling, if they need money for essentials, why can't the government just, print more of it? It feels like such an easy fix. Well, to understand why that's actually a recipe for total disaster, we need to tell a little story, and it all starts in the jungle.
Okay, so just picture this, a big, lush jungle, and living there is this really clever troop of monkeys. And in their little corner of the world, they've actually developed a perfectly simple, totally stable, and functioning economy.
In this jungle economy, the official currency isn't gold or anything like that. It's a specific kind of leaf, and the rules are super simple. One of these special leaves gets you one delicious banana. A good nap under a nice shady tree? Don't worry, that's still free. Life is pretty good, and the whole system, it just works.
But you know how it is. Trouble starts brewing. Some of the younger monkeys, the ones who aren't quite as good at finding these special leaves, they start to complain. They're hungry, they want bananas, but they just don't have the leaves to trade for them. So it's not really a banana shortage, it's a leaf shortage, at least for them.
So their leader, this well-intentioned Chief Silverback, he hears their complaints. He's a real monkey of the people, And he makes this big, bold declaration. Every monkey deserves a banana. It's a great sentiment, right? But the way he decides to make it happen, well, that's where our story takes a sharp turn.
So, as the head of the monkey government, the chief comes up with what he thinks is an absolutely brilliant idea. He sees the problem and he thinks, aha, the problem isn't a lack of bananas, it's a lack of leaves. And he figures he knows exactly how to fix it.
His logic seems almost foolproof, doesn't it? Step 1, monkeys need more leaves. Okay. Step 2, hey, the jungle is literally full of leaves. So step 3, let's just make more of these leaves the official currency. Which leads to step 4, everybody's happy, problem solved. I mean, what could possibly go wrong?
And you know what? At first, it's a huge success. The chief's team starts handing out piles of the new currency. Soon, every single monkey has a big handful of leaves. They all rush to the banana tree, trade their leaves, and for the very first time, everyone gets to eat. The chief is a hero. For about a day.
Yeah, that celebration doesn't last long. Because the very next day, the monkeys wake up to the absolutely disastrous, unintended consequence of the chief's plan. This flood of new leaves has completely and totally upended their entire economy.
So here's the core of the problem. The monkeys who actually harvest the bananas, they look around and see everyone's new wealth and they think, wait a second, if everybody has tons of these leaves, then the leaves aren't that special anymore. See, with so many more leaves floating around, but the exact same number of bananas to buy, they start demanding more leaves for each banana. And just like that, the value of a single leaf has absolutely plummeted.
So think about that. If a banana costs 100 leaves today, what's it going to cost tomorrow? 1,000? A whole wheelbarrow full? The chief's plan didn't create more wealth, and it definitely didn't create more bananas. All it did was make the currency they all relied on practically worthless. Eventually, the leaves become so worthless that the monkeys just give up on them. They're not special currency anymore. They're just leaves. So they have to find something else, something a little harder to come by, like a particular kind of stick. And they all agree that this is the new money. The leaf economy has completely collapsed.
Okay, so it's a simple little story about monkeys, right? But what does it actually mean for us in the real world? This is where we connect the dots between our jungle fables and a real-world economy.
So, that Chief Silverback and his monkey government, you can think of them as a stand-in for a country's central bank. The big institutions that control the supply of money in an economy. And the special leaves? Well, that one's pretty obvious. They represent currency. Dollars, euros, yen, any kind of money that we use to trade for stuff we want and need.
And that flood of new leaves that made everything go haywire? That is a perfect picture of a word we hear all the time. Inflation. It's the classic definition. Way too much money chasing way too few goods. When the amount of money in an economy just explodes, but the amount of stuff to buy stays the same, that money just becomes less valuable. You 100 leaves now buy what just one leaf used to.
Which brings us to probably the single most important lesson from our whole jungle story. It really all boils down to one absolutely crucial concept: scarcity, and why it is essential for any kind of currency to have any value at all.
I mean, think about it. Money, whether it's a piece of paper or a leaf, has no real value on its own. You can't eat it, right? Its power comes from our collective agreement that we can trade it for things we actually want,
like bananas. And that agreement only works because the currency is scarce. It's limited. The moment it stops being scarce, like what happened with our leaves, the entire system just falls apart. So let's go all the way back to our original question. Printing more money doesn't create more goods or more food or more bananas. It just makes every dollar or every leaf that you already have worth less. It proves that money is powerful, but it's also incredibly fragile. Why? Because its value is based entirely on trust. Which leaves us with one last and pretty critical question. If money is just an agreement, what happens when we all stop agreeing?